round going in favor of Sprout as well puts them with the CT start. And statistically, this is a better map for Sprout than it is for Movistar Riders. But I mean, if we were looking at statistics, Train should have been almost the 100%, the 100% map that Sprout were going to win. So who knows? Heading on to Nuke now, it's going to be an interesting one, and it looks like we're going to see a pretty fast approach from Movistar. The door being blown off. Mopo's looking like he was going to try and get out towards the vent quickly, but they do just slow it down for the moment.
They're taking their time afterwards, although eventually angling back over towards the door. Sadly, with that door wide on open, Keto's able to peek those longer range angles. Eventually peek by 3 blocks, so that's not a nice look for him as he's torn apart. Oh, Mervin! Oh, okay, 2 come through in the end. That got a little bit awkward for a second as he missed so many shots onto the dabbing opponents as they were full blind jumping down the vent into a 3v2, but they have no idea. Alex is lurking up close. He's waiting for someone to try and hunt down behind in the vent, and then he'll swing out with that Glock. The timing's not too good for him, though. It looked like it could have been, but Fathom was ready for it. And if Soaker picks up Spitty, it's still a 1v2. Oh, nice shot, Soaker! And a bomb plant should be secured, as he knows exactly where Fathom's coming from.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty difficult one indeed right now without that defuse kit. You see Soaker been able to creep back around as well, making his way through vent. Was the door closed by Favon? I believe he actually did go ahead and close it, so we'll be able to know if Soaker is coming around, but the issue is the time running down at this point. It's getting a little bit awkward. Goes to clear out single, and is going to go ahead and just try and actually hold it now, it seems. Eventually does pop off. Soaker just doing his best to play the time, stays alive, and eventually takes a headshot for himself. And that will, of course, be Movistar Riders going ahead and picking up this opening pistol here on Nuke. And especially with them being on the T side, that's very important, of course.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You want to get yourself some rounds on the board here, especially as both teams have really struggled on the CT side, or the T side, rather, in the previous map. Although it's not a one-to-one comparison, you are seeing a, 2 of the more T-sided maps coming out. Robin's being stacked up here. They drop him over a Deagle, so he's got an armor and Deagle to work with. Definitely a combination that could cause some trouble for these Ts, but doesn't, as he's very quickly swept up by Alex. Nice nade goes down. Mixwell to 28 HP, Soaker on 35, but even with that, you've not got control over that site. The Movistar can now play pretty passive and just look for crossfires.
Yeah, not much chance for this retake coming through, even with that defuse kit. I mean, Mixwell and Soaker are quite low, so maybe if they're able to find those kills quickly, there'd be a chance. But as you said, we do see Movistar Riders just taking this a little bit slower now. With the 5-on-3 and the bomb down, they just drop the smokes, and pretty much with that, there's not much that Sprout could do. Saving the pistols and Kevlar right now, really the only option. Give themselves a bit of a chance, at least in this next round, to try and get some damage in. Unfortunately, though, probably not going to happen in this round. Nice shot by Keto. But of course, Cirrus in the meantime did end up going down. That is the player, at least, that didn't have Kevlar, so not quite as heavy of an investment. But Keto, he tries to go forward and gets dropped. That's an interesting choice, because they're not buying in this round no matter what. And I don't really feel like it was too worthwhile for him trying to get that little bit of extra damage right there with the Deagle and the Kevlar, and I think he also had a bit of utility in play.
I'm a little bit surprised to see the aggression going through. To echo your points, you're not buying anything here, so it makes a lot more sense. Carry forward as many weapons, as many pistols even as you can. Do as much damage as possible. Merbit carries forward a Deagle. Now that's the only upgraded pistol to come through for Sprout. They've bought up a few nades, and that is their best shot at the round. Keto goes down before being able to deploy his. As he peeks towards outside, he gets shut the hell down, and the angle from Mixwell works out perfectly. His smokes dissipate. He sees the nade coming, so avoids taking a lot of damage. Molotov from Spitty is questionable, but he comes through with a kill nonetheless.
Yeah, that was interesting. Mixwell didn't notice that the Molotov had been thrown from there either, so they ended up still kind of getting caught off guard. Didn't really affect the round too much in the end. Of course, Alex able to pick that AK up anyway, so I think just dropping over his own SMG to retrieve it. But a 3-0 start here from Movistar. It's a good scoreline to kick things off with on the T side of Nuke. If they can pick up this first gun round as well, especially, they put themselves in a great position. And after seeing the T side back on train, you definitely want to see them picking up at least 6 or so rounds here on the T side of Nuke. And there we go, Mixwell.
Fantastic opening. That is beautiful. Such a nice angle there. Spitty was blind as well. And just completely taken down. Not sure if they're 100% aware of where that kill came through. They jump over the door though, so evidently they're aware there could be an op there. Kill doesn't go through for the AK, but it's still a man advantage in play for that terrorist side. Sprout are kind of trapped now. They don't exactly know where that AWP is lurking around. They have to make an info play, and it's Searson pushing in through Squeaky that does that. Problems. He's cleared out everything outside of A except for Hut, where Mopaz is sitting down on a Mac 10. This could get very scary as they're now going to take for granted, with Searson holding this angle, that Mopaz cannot be here. More than likely, they'll forget about that small position. And as kills come through and they make it towards outside, Mopaz can have a huge flank.
Alright, this is gonna be a little bit awkward indeed. Just kind of chilling in towards Hutt for the moment. Keto just so focused on Heaven in case they've actually wrapped around, and he needs to be a bit more cautious. Peeks towards main though and is able to take down Mixwell. Favin gives him some help right there as he was about to be taken down from the side. And speaking of Favin, he comes in to finish it off as well as Soaker in towards main is taken down. That's going to be the opening gun round gun in favor of Sprout in a decent fashion as well. Able to keep 3 players alive. I mean, that means they're able to easily drop over the weapons that were needed, which is of course ideal. As we do see Movistar Riders been able to rebuy up themselves. Again though, Mopo's going to be just stuck on a Mac 10. Elsewhere though, the op being available, the rifles and pretty much all the utility rather that they could ask for. And it looks like they may try and take things once again, pretty similar to that previous round. This time Mixwell doesn't get the kill, but I mean not too much luckier for Spiddy as he just about survives on 16 HP, getting wall banged this time around.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward spot in the previous round though. Mopaz with the Mac 10. I thought that he would go for the flank around left side site. His teammates pressured in main. It all looked fantastic. But then he crossed the site, and Favin was able to spot him out, even though he was heavily focused towards main outside. So didn't quite go according to plan, but it was a good play at the end of the day. This time they don't find that opening with the AWP. Luckily, Spiddy obviously able to survive on 11 HP. Gives them a small bit of an advantage. But I would definitely say Movistar, even with that play from Mopaz pushing around the far angle of the site, could have went their way. Those are really bad smokes on outside. As Spiddy gets aggressive, he's going to come up behind them here. What's the angle like for Dets? Now the timing works out really poorly as Dets wasn't there to watch the angle. He was watching it for quite a while. But as he turns away, Spiddy gets aggressive and finds an opening duel. And that was a player that was left on 11 HP making the plays.
Yeah, now time's becoming a real issue for them as well. They only have 30 seconds to get down through ramp. You see, the second they are spotted, Searson just falls back off. He's being chased at the moment, though. All right, or not Searson, I meant to say Mirbit. And he will actually be able to find one quick kill. The second, not expecting him to be down in that guppy, apparently, but still able to flick over and take that headshot back. Soaker actually able to double down as well as Spiddy gets a little bit aggressive over towards the window room. And suddenly that bomb does end up going down in a 3-on-3. I feel like Spiddy there definitely should have just tried to stay alive, allow for them to have that man advantage working into the retake. Instead now it can get a little bit dicey indeed, and there we go, Mixwell with the quick peek, Favin falls, and Searson and Keto, I don't know if they even want to attempt this retake anymore. Oh, Keto, he has a good position though. If he got that frag, it definitely would have been doable, but no longer.
Yeah, it's time to get out of there, but even doing that is going to be hard. He's spotted. They're going to hunt him down. They've not got a lot of money actually, so... But they also have to exit, making the right choice to go over towards the ramp together and assure themselves that they won't lose any further rifles, as they don't want to feel the sting of that a little bit later on. Allowing one AK forward could push Sprouts and maybe force by. Searson can take an op. Have Spiddy Mirbit on weaker weapons. Favin takes a dig. Possible. At this stage, I would say it's viable as well. You don't want the T side to build up too many rounds, and they're starting to gain control over their economy. But it's also risky. If you make the force buy right now and it doesn't work out, and especially if you don't find that many kills, then Movistar walk away with pretty much the half. They already have a huge scoreline and a huge financial lead. Pause comes through to discuss it. I think probably they just go with the eco and give over a fifth to Movistar Riders and hope for an almost flawless CT side afterwards.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit awkward. This is just not the start that Sprout would have been hoping for here on Nuke. If they end up losing this best of 3 after taking that opening map 16-3, then losing their own map choice and then coming onto another map where they are relatively decent, it's just going to be heartbreaking for them. I mean, it's not the end of the road, of course. The loser of this goes on to face off against Team Spirit, I believe, in that third place decider to see who's the third team to qualify to the global challenge, of course. But you want to try and win this when you want to get into the grand finals and of course play for that little bit of extra money, I believe, that is on the line. Not quite sure of the specifics and how much. Can actually have a quick look. Yeah, so is there actually? No. The money actually only going for 4th place. So if you don't qualify, that's when you get that bit of money. The loser of the 3rd place decider gets $2,500. But of course, you'd much rather go to the global challenge. That's where you will be confirmed getting money, I believe, for competing no matter what. And obviously with a chance to buy to get even more rather. But yeah, it's not looking amazing for Sprout. This should be an eco coming through. It looks like they may be considering maybe buying up a little bit. I suppose Sirison could probably pull out like Pistol and Kevlar. Spitty could probably do the same. Murbit get a little bit as well, but the AK that's saved over by Keto should be the only rifle that they're going to have to play with into this round.
Yes, if you come 1st, 2nd, or 3rd here, you're guaranteed $37.50, even if you completely bomb out of the global challenge. Pretty good teams there as well. You got Furia, Party Astronaut, Singularity, ATK, and Chiefs already confirmed. Nice to see Chiefs over there representing the Aussies. The yeah, like obviously making it into the global challenge. 1st place is 25K, 15 for 2nd, and 10K for 3rd through 4th. So it's definitely more desirable to make it all the way to the end. And Sprout would guarantee themselves a spot there if they can just walk over the line with this. The thing is, right now, Movistar Riders, if you ignore the 1st map completely, they look far better. Well, maybe not far better, but they figured out their opponents on the T side of train towards the end, which is the whole point. You know, it's why we say you can give so much leeway towards a terrorist side. If you lose the pistol round on train, and then you start losing buy rounds, when it gets to like 7-0, that's where it's like, okay, you better have them figured out now and at least get around on the board. But the more time goes on, the more you get to figure out what your opponents are doing, how they like to play, and try to counter-strat them. And once you've them figured out, that's where you can start to build up your rounds. But the fact that you only kind of need 5 or 6 and you can have that slower start, it's okay. Nuke is kind of the same, but Movistar Riders winning at the pistol puts them in such a positive position that you're no longer saying, okay, well, if they get 6, they'll be pretty happy. But the fact that they've got a 4-1 lead and they should have 5-1, I think you're looking at 7 rounds and as being a very, very strong possibility to get on the board. And if they can pull that off, they'll have a decent chance when they swap over. Considering the fact that we've definitely seen Sprout struggle on the terror side so far. I'm going to hope that that was map specific and not just an issue with their comms or something like that right now, because there were some rounds where they just looked completely lost.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we do see Sprout picking it up, but I mean, right now Movistar Riders, they're just, as you said, in such a great position. They should be finding themselves a 5th round, and if they can keep up how they've been performing throughout those previous rounds, then there's an opportunity for them to find even more than 7, perhaps. Well, let's see. Pistols and Kevlar being brought out with a couple of players on Sprout to back up that AK. There is definitely some opportunity for the CT side to put up a little bit of a fight in this round and see what they can get done. But of course, Movistar Riders, they're playing this one pretty safe right now. Mofo's holding for this aggression in towards the hut, waiting to see if anyone's going to push forward and gift them a frag. Death's just posted up over on ramp, as they did, of course, break those windows above the A-bomb site and are probably just going to look for an execute in there towards the latter part of the round. Or at least they do have the option to do so if they want to. Maybe a bit of outside control now to come in as we see that smoke being set up by Mixwell, of course.
Yeah, they're certainly looking to bring things towards outside for now. Two smokes go down. We're looking for the 3rd. There it is coming over. There's effective cross smokes for them. They can get down to secret pretty cleanly. And it looks like they'll be doing so. Spread of pistols in play, so this is a round that going down secret, it's definitely risky. I thought Spitty was actually down there. Hold on, let me cycle through and figure it out. Goddamn Nuke, 3-dimensional. Nobody's in secret right now. They've given up complete control. The closest player is on ramp. Murbit rotates down now, but look how much control Movistar Riders have because of that. It's questionable. They go down through vents. Murbit's maybe not going to be expected to be up this close, especially now they've taken Keto down. Murbit has got that ninja all lined up for him.
Ooh, Murbit actually able to find themselves a 2nd frag there on the Mopos as well. There's not going to be enough time unless they get this bomb down right now. Death comes in for a frag, but there's just not enough. Oh, okay, never mind. I didn't even realize he had held it down. And Alex actually found himself a couple of frags. It's a 1v1 though. That's so much closer than it should have been. They just about managed to clinch it out. And honestly, I didn't think he got that down in time. I thought he hit the bomb once it was on 3. But just about managed it. The 1v1 going in their favor. But, I mean, overall, that was pretty good damage coming through from Sprout. I think they'll be pretty happy with that. They've actually managed to put Movistar Riders into a position where one round loss would put them on an eco.
When I said that Murbit had the position for the Ninja, I didn't think, didn't quite think he was going to be tapping people through the smoke. That was incredible. Kind of, like, went to the smoke at a random spot, which happened to be the dude's head, waited a second to see, like, can I see a foot? Can I see anything? No, I'll just fire. Gets the head straight away. That's incredible. But still, they don't connect the round. Now full buy comes through from Sprout. They've got the ROP, they've got the rifles to work with. The Movistar Riders, after the losses in the previous round, their economy isn't too healthy. If they lose this, you can definitely see Sprout coming back into it. But like I said before, you're looking for a pretty much flawless CT side from this point forward, as you've given Movistar Riders such a heavy start that if they continue to clock rounds up, could be muchos scarios for you. The Sprout, I mean, like we said, we haven't seen them recover yet from the Train T side. We haven't seen an attacking side from them, rather, since Train, and that was really, really bad.
Yeah, much slower round right now, though, coming through from Movistar Riders. Beginning to actually advance outside with a couple of players, and that's going to be finding a very nice catch there on towards Biddy. Able to just commit down into Secret off the back of it as well. Didn't actually even have to spot out his opponent, who he was able to drop. Keto in a decent position, but he has a lot of players to deal with. Gets 2 before the op of Mixwell appears to be a little bit too much for him to handle. 3-on-3 now in play as they actually set up for an A split instead. So Alex dropping down, coming up through the vents then was Mixwell. Unfortunately for Favin being the sole defender of that actual A bomb site, he isn't able to get anything done from the back of it. A 2v3 now, Sirison on the flank. He may be the one to give them a chance to pull it back, and he does indeed drop Mixwell, but he takes an op shot in return as well.
Oh, Murbit, nice shot. Okay, Mopa's last alive. He can take these guys down with 1 or 2 bullets. But there is an op up against him. He's got time on his side, though. They have no information. Nate goes through, swings that in the back of it, 75 HP. Oh, he actually wallbangs Murbit there, but eventually connects the final shot. And it's 6-1. Des uno. There you go. It's my best Spanish.
I'm not even going to try it, man.
I mean, look, Movistar, I can give them a lot of credit on the previous map when they were building up a lead early on. Now they've definitely shown us that they've got what it takes.
And just the fact that they were able to recover from that first map as well.
Yeah.
Come back, take the win on Train, and it looks so good here on Nuke so far. It's definitely an impressive showing from them, and up against the Pistols and the Kevlar again, they should be taking themselves a 7-1 lead. Already an advantage being found by Soaker there towards outside. It's Sirison who goes down early on. Sprout are just having a very difficult time right now on the CT side to actually get anything going.
It's super important for Mixwell really to be able to put up good results. Like, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Leaving the kind of international scene to play that more domestic Counter-Strike and build up a local team, so to speak, or a national team to a good level. For him to see to start contesting teams like Sprout and stuff, it's good. I mean, Movistar Riders are definitely on the open up to what we used to see from them in like Hotshot Season 1 and stuff, where they were kind of a team that posed little threat to those around kind of Sprout's level. Last couple of months, they've really started to amp up their performance. It's good to see that level of improvement over time.
Yeah, and especially to see Mixwell stepping it up on the up in these last 2 maps. It's been something that, of course, isn't a necessity for Movistar Riders for these wins. Soaker will go ahead and find himself 1 there to get damage onto the initial player as well, helping Mopos to go ahead and finish him off. And with that now a 5-on-2, the bomb already down and ticking away, of course. Well, only Murbit left standing for Sprout. That 7-1 lead indeed is going to be confirmed. And again, it looks like it should be at least a relatively decent clean round rather here from Movistar Riders. They've been having a decent amount of clean rounds. It's just over the last couple, they weren't really able to build up any money, unfortunately. This one, though, that's going to change that. Merva is waiting though. He may be able to find himself a frag or two on the exit. Are they going to be expecting this? I don't think so. Dets has no idea. Oh, spotted though. Takes down smoke goes before getting dropped. One frag. I mean, it's better than none.
7-1. I mean, it's just like Spain in the World Cup. Am I right? Sorry, I just want to see how hard I could trigger chat.
I figured you were joking. I know you don't know football very well, but I figured you were joking.
Oh, I was watching that. We did a sweepstake, and I got Germany. I tried to trade the guy who had Argentina. Yeah, he was begging for that trade a couple weeks after. But yeah.
You did trigger someone. You triggered a few people. I see them already typing in the chat.
At least they speak the same language, so it's easy to flip between. So Movistar with an AWP in play and Sprout have the same. Couple of rifles, couple of M4s. Only the one AUG, and it's something we're seeing. The AUG kind of not as prevalent with some of the players as it used to be.
Especially on a map like Nuke here, where if you're playing inside or towards ramp or anything, you're probably better off having the M4 with a higher fire rate. But right now, let's see, with the Sprout, they are finding somewhat a decent amount of success towards outside. It's actually gone heavily in favor of them since they've begun that sentence, with Sirison and Keto being able to find a frag each as well. Leaving it all onto Dets now. And 1 on 3 in play. Does have the bomb, but gets spammed around the edge of that smoke by Spiddy. 7-2. Sprout gonna pick themselves up another round. 3 players surviving. They'll be able to drop over to Favin, of course, who needs one. And I mean, the money isn't great for Movistar Riders. They can buy onto everyone except for Mopos, so I'd imagine that they will.
Mopo's got the Mac 10 out. He's looking for the faster close range engagements. Needs to go through, and we're going to see a very fast push towards A. Smoke goes in the Molotov a little bit late. Lots of damage already taken. A tapping away on the AUG. Favin shows it's still viable. 3 on the board. Low HP on 2. Makes walls in a 1v3. He's got 35 HP. Maybe falls him down the vent, but it's not going to do too much. He's already out, making his way towards the B side to get that bomb planted. A little bit of extra cash for his teammates.
Yeah, at least finding that bomb plant. Like, that's a big positive, as you said. I mean, not a great round overall, because they do end up losing it. Their money not going to give them enough for the full buy in this next round either way, but already having 7 on that T side, getting the bomb plant down there, give them a bit of firepower at least in this next round. They should be at least able to get some pistols out. Allow then for Sprout to likely bring it up to 4, but they're still in a good spot where 7 already on the T side is decent, well, pretty good. All things considered, though, they will want a little bit more, and it's just all about that grind. So Eco probably going to come through here. And a bit of an opportunity for Sprout to try and build up their money, most importantly, because that's when things get really difficult on Nuke, when you can't get that money going on the CT side. When it's fragile and you keep getting it broken, when you can't afford the utility and the ops to hold down. Let's see if Sprout can go ahead and make sure that that's not going to be an issue now in this round. Up against only pistols. Kevlar on the mix, well, a bit of utility for Alex. And it looks like it is just going to be a straight up ramp rush coming through from that D side.
Yeah, indeed, just barreling towards there. They find 1-for-1s. That's perfect. Low HP on a couple of players, but if they can get this bomb planted, they will be happy. Unfortunately, Sprout have already won a takedown. Now they've got the range advantage firmly in their favor. And Tippity tapping away on the AUG. Mopaz is gone on a quick spray. 7-4. No matter where we end up, though, this is a great half. Excuse me, great half from Movistar Riders. They're going to be feeling pretty confident, as their terror side has yielded so many rounds. Right at this point, and they've got a little bit of cash left over in reserve if they lose this round, so it's not looking likely that Movistar make it to like double digits by the end. But at the end of the day, I mean, they've done enough. They can be comfortable, they can be chilled out, and it's Sprout that have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Nice opening by Sirison. Is he able to make it out of there alive? Nice flashbang so he can continue to aggress. Find anybody that was trying to trade out. Headbutts a Molotov. Drops the smoke on it as it falls.
Oh, the spam through the smoke there on the Sirison actually doing quite a bit of damage. Down to 56. I mean, he's definitely still in the round, but it is a little bit awkward being up close with only that Deagle on AWP. Not the best of weaponry. Creep up and around the smoke once again. He's still not spotted for the moment. Eventually, though, Dets will take him down. So a 4-on-4 now in play. Eventually, one frag being pulled back. And I was going to say it's a pretty decent position still for Sprout, even though it is the 4v4 because Soaker was low HP. But he goes ahead and just rips off the head of a player towards spawn. It was Spitty who went down, of course. And with that now, a 4-on-3 in play, and still 50 seconds for Movistar Riders to bring this towards one of those bomb sites. Well, it looks like they're going to try and bring it back inside.
Yeah, swinging in towards the ramp by the looks of things. You've got a passive hold coming through from Murbit. He's got a Molotov. That's going to delay so much time. They're going to have to push through it. Smoke goes down. Now he knows they're coming. Ready for the fight, but it doesn't go his way. Fight the damage down on Soaker and Mopaz. You've only got Favin down here towards this side. 20 seconds on the clock isn't enough to just drop the bomb and run away. He's smoked out in the doorway, makes it towards the window. Flashes going through, just spamming, hoping to find somebody. It's not happening, and then push down behind as the window was already shattered. They can make it down sneaky beaky like. 8-4. Movistar Riders do really well to get that round, but they're still up against a full buy. Anything from this point forward, anything from the previous round forward was just a bonus. And at this point, they're looking very likely to close it out. We need to see Sprout win every single one of these rounds. And if they lose here, then Movistar Riders hit double digits. I also really like what they're doing. They're consistently nading the door, nading out further, flashing out, so that they don't know if it's going to be a fast rush towards A, down vents, or just passive hold with the op. They've done everything with it, and it's really confusing to see the side, but even still, come up with a man advantage in that early fight.
It seems to definitely be like a focal point of their default to pressure towards that position, so that that Sprout never really know what's going on. They can be swapping it up over on the Movistar Riders side, but that part of the play is always going to be there, so it's something that they always have to try and worry about somewhat. But early on in this round anyway, I mean, a 2-for-2 trade, not too bad for Movistar Riders. They should be quite happy with that, especially with it being a map like Nuke. There's just so many places to try and cover. And with two of those players being straight up on the A bomb site right now, that gives so much opportunity for Movistar Riders to wrap around, get control towards Hell and Heaven, maybe even bring it down towards B through the ramp. But if they do bring it onto A, then they could be in for a little bit of a surprise with Spitty and Keto both playing around this position.
Trying a bit of a Furia there. Let's catch them off guard with crazy aggression. But it was crazy. Now into the 3v3, Movistar Riders look to take it towards the A site. Oh, the barrel's being spotted though. He goes down for the AWP. Spitty looking for more, but he doesn't find it. 2 seconds on the clock. Searson's not being hurt in the vents. He's got the AWP out. Alex, aware of it, drops a nade. Searson's being spotted, gets naded down to 39 HP. And manages to make it defense though. Alex so slow to peek out towards that angle.
That was weird.
Down to the bomb. I honestly don't know how he didn't know Searson was up then.
Okay. A question. It looked like he wanted to stick it until he knew that he was coming up for sure. But as soon as you hit him with that nade and know that he's in the vent, if you're going to stick it, just go around to the other side of the bomb site. And if you're going to tap it, do it quickly. I mean, you don't want to peek it quickly because of if you make the step, then of course they're going to know that you're not on the bomb actually planted it. But I mean, he held it for quite a while before hopping off of that plant right there.
Yeah, it was a really, really weird situation. As soon as you're going to commit to that, I feel like after waiting so long, you've got to swing out at him. You know it's an op you're up against. I mean, you cannot slow peek an op like that when he's already up.
6-8 now. A good recovery so far from Sprout, but I mean, 8 rounds already on the T side, or even just 8 rounds in general on the T side from Movistar Riders is something they can be happy with.
At least they're starting to pull it back towards the end, and you can give the fact that Movistar Riders won the pistol. So a little bit of grace towards Sprout, but the scoreline is still not ideal. Well, at the same time, like we said, really, Movistar would be happy with kind of 7 on the board. They managed to find that with the pistol in their favor and early leads. Sprout have managed to recover the previous round, but I definitely wouldn't put that down to great plays. We've seen a lot of holes, like the 4v3, and they just decided to push ramp, and you had to rely on massive individual plays. Spitty on the site did so well to shut down Mixwell and stuff in that round. But end of the day, 1-for-1's open it up, putting Movistar ahead. If they make it to 9-6 and then win the pistol, it's almost over at that point. Because it's not so much like winning both pistols guarantees you win, but winning both pistols and performing pretty well throughout the buy rounds. Like, better than I expected, to be honest, from Movistar coming into this map. I'm really starting to feel their chances.
One thing we've seen is they've been trading so much better here on Nuke when they're pushing. They're doing so together. Yeah, and they're just always ready. Even if they aren't pushing, they just always have another player who's ready to peek out. And of course, when you're on the T side, keeping the equal trades even is always going to put you in a favorable position. And if you can just close out even half of those situations, then you're getting yourself a decent amount of rounds on the grind. And that's a really nice find there from Mixwell. Takes down Mirabit. Oh, the spot there as well on the Spitty, dropping down the vent. He decides he was going to go up extremely quickly again. That was actually a 2-on-2, I was going to say. In the meantime, though, Alex opens up A. Bomb still goes down on B. So he's got to rotate quickly because Keto wants to go forward right now. He was somewhat being cautious of that back corner. Should be aware, of course, that Mixwell has to be towards the bomb site somewhere as he was planting it. And even as he was focused on it, Mixwell just steps out for a headshot. 9-6 at halftime for Movistar Riders. They're going to be extremely happy with that T side. If they pick up the second pistol round, then we'll probably just see them being able to run away with it. I feel like Sprout definitely need this pistol to get that momentum going.
If the pistol doesn't go the way of Sprout, I'll lose a lot of faith. I mean, that's a phenomenal T side from Movistar Riders, even winning at the pistol. What we saw from them before was the early start on train. They had such little economy, but they managed to gain control in every single aspect. I mean, it wasn't a case of they're winning a little bit, they're getting momentum up, and Sprout kind of figure them out a little bit. And the variation that they had, like we said, you know, that focal point towards Squeaky, dropping their nades consistently, using the same kind of utility, which put it into a position where Movistar Riders didn't know whether it was going to be an A rush, a vent rush, or just a hold, a slower push towards the site with the AWP holding further back. And they did it all every single round. So there was never any free information, but Movistar Riders constantly opened things up for themselves, opened up the options, quite literally opened up doors. And now as Sprout move into the pistol round, this is essential. They've got Searson and Favin both on utility buys without armor as the P250 makes its way into the hands of Searson. Previously, we've seen this dropped over to Favin, but evidently not currently feeling it. He's just sitting down as the utility support. Still coming through with 2 kills early on, though.
Big balls from Opos. They're opening the door. A very, very dangerous play indeed. And of course, he found that out. A nice shot from Soaker, though. Will at least return it to a 3-on-3. But in the meantime, they heard those steps going down through vents. So they know that the bomb now probably being taken down on towards B. They'll hear that the plant is indeed beginning to go through. But they do at least have a defuse getting a smoke to work with. Still, though, it's going to be a tough retake coming through. This B-bomb site always quite difficult to get the retake on here on Nuke, of course. Favin trying to hold the flank coming down through Secret. Soaker's going to have to try and deal with that Glock on close range, rather. Up at the vent as they managed to actually meet face to face. And it wasn't really on good terms, unfortunately. Alex going to return one, at least a second shot towards Favin, and now it's all on Keto. A man that we pointed out on the first map has been so impactful. Can he be such as now as he gets the force pushing through? Death's trying to stick it, but there's enough time for him to just spam away and eventually takes his time to get the headshot. That is indeed going to be Sprout picking up a round that was, to say the very least, much needed. 7-9, 2 rounds into the difference, and this one should just be a straight up eco from Movistar, so we should see it being brought up to just a 1 round gap.
Sprout are playing very weird to what we normally see. Right there, that peak in the 2v2 was so risky. With so much time left, I mean, if he had a smoke and dropped that down with the kit, it was over. They would have won that round over on the CT side.
Especially with his teammate's position, it just wasn't needed.
Yeah, exactly. And behind the doors as well. I mean, they have to push through and open those doors to get you. You have an angle towards the bomb if they go to defuse it. There's only going to be one guy if they're sticking it, and you'll also know exactly where they are. They hear they're coming down the ramp. Favin opens the door. It would be forgivable if, I think it was Keto, also swings out and you double face, but he didn't. It was like just a completely solo play, and I don't get it, because you gain nothing. It's not an information play. You already know they're there. They've been heard. It's just very wild situation. The only thing I'm thinking of now is maybe they thought that he was towards he was going to be peeked on top of. Maybe he opened the doors to peek out to try and help out in that regard. But I don't know. Trades go down early on, at least. Sprout looking decent, but force buy from Movistar Riders hasn't got like a whole lot of weaknesses. Down towards the side, Gets picks up one. A lot of damage done to Searson.
Yeah, Alex actually almost caught him with 1 bullet there as he was crossing as well. That would have been enough Fortunately, it wasn't the case for Seriously. Will be able to just get that bomb down. And they still have a couple of Molotovs. There's the one bullet that he needed around the edge of the smoke. Mirbe pushing up close against the CZ will be able to win that fight out. And now it's Mopo's in the 1v1. And a glass cannon auto shotgun. Not the ideal weaponry, but he's getting up close. The shoulder though being spotted. He's trying to chase it down. He needs to do so quickly. Gets the damage in and brings him so low to eventually finish it off. But what's the time going to be like? He does actually have a defuse kit. So there's plenty. Oh my god. How does he manage to win that out? I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. That was, I mean, that was pretty close. If that was a real life scenario, I wouldn't be comfortable saying it was plenty, but...
What? I mean, it sounded like there was plenty. It wasn't taken away too fast, you know?
All right. My hands would be shaking, but all right.
Oh, yeah, no. I feel like you'd be nervous defusing a real-life bomb no matter what, but in the end, this is a video game. And there's no chance of permanent death. There's no chance of failing the actual defuse. If you have enough time to go for it, you know?
It's not as fun, then.
No, it's definitely not. It's not as high stakes.
No high stakes table. Welcome to the high stakes table. There's a bomb under your seat. Good luck. Mixwell. Oh man, that was some decent damage. Wait, what weapon did he have there?
I think it was a P250.
I mean, Mixwell's lucky to be alive. 2 kills on the board. Still hunting down, holding a pixel angle. He spotted one player gun that secret. They're speedy up close. Eliminated already. 3 kills on 6 HP. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Stoker goes down to long range deke. So just going back to the round where Fab and peaked, I think the reason I just wanted to kind of try to find a reason was that, like, I don't want to be too harsh, but I do feel like Spread in general have been a little bit less like switched on than we normally see them, right? Like, not that they're not taking it seriously or anything, but just like they don't seem to be making the right decisions. Decision making is kind of off compared to what we normally see and their cohesion. I wonder if there's something going on there in the background. Maybe it's just an off day. I mean, it happens, right? But I feel like just the doors open is such a bad play that there had to be a reason behind it. Like the sound made it sound like there was someone above him. Robert's doing decent on the Deagles. The problem is, like, they have no armor, right? So if you get into a duel, if you miss that one shot for the headshot, you're done. You're gonna get torn apart, unless it's on the Mixwell, and maybe you can just spam in the knees. Yeah, there's a problem.
Nice rounder from Mopos as well. Against those Kevlar-less opponents, it's not really too difficult, especially if they aren't moving in quickly there to at least like rush up into your face. If you're just taking those peaks one by one, it's going to be tough for you to really get anything done. Sprout, of course, coming onto the buy now. Goes without saying that this round is extremely important to them. If they don't manage to take this, then we'll be looking at Movistar Riders taking a 13-7 lead here on the CT side of Nuke, and at that point, the chances of Sprout will have fallen quite drastically. Even right now, being behind by 4 on the T side of Nuke is not really where you want to be. Not a position that you're going to be too comfortable in. It's definitely going to be a bit of an uphill battle right now for the German side. They do actually manage to find that outside control quite easily. Alex just in towards the garage isn't really going to be able to do anything about it. And of course, with that now, rotations having to come down towards B. But in the meantime, Mixwell does even take down Spiddy. So a man advantage at least found for Movistar Riders right now.
Oh, not lasting too long as Mopaz goes down. Molotov over towards main. Stops any pushes coming back through and any info from being gained as Brad ultimately... I don't know, actually. The bomb's not moved all too much. Thinking they were going to go down towards B. And they're very slowly taking secret control. They have an idea that there's going to be a player maybe towards the top of secret, but Alex has been playing from back in garage quite a bit. So they're kind of free to ignore anything towards there. Eventually hitting the A bomb site. It wasn't B as we thought. It's kind of a slow takedown there. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh no, his feet are visible. Fabin goes down. The smoke wasn't quite on point. Soaker caught behind it, but not able to push around. Has one angle to fight. USP out. Not able to land that kill. Mixwell goes down as well. Okay. Not before he can get a Molotov frag. Well, actually, yes, before he can get a Molotov frag. But from the grave, he finds it. So it's in with 2v2. Low HP on Keto with the bomb planted.
Yeah, just trying to hold that heaven peek out right now. He already used the flash peek through, and will indeed be able to finish off that low HP player. So it's all on to Sirison now with the op pushed forward, though, in a great position to force this 1 versus 1. Alex trying to be careful, but still gets taken down. Death puts in a tiny bit of damage, but nothing really too substantial right there. Taps the bomb to try and bait the peek out. And Sirison balls to steal right now as he doesn't actually go to check. Time running down so low, it just can't be done anymore. This is Sirison picking up the round win no matter what. And he just takes the frag either way. 8 to 11. As I said, a gun round there that was very important for Sprout will actually end up going in their favor. And when we look at the economy now for Movistar Riders, Mopo's on a double eco. Dex, I think, was sitting around a double eco as well. He actually dropped the UMP over and got a deagle in return. Actually, no, Death was the one with money, rather. But yeah, he dropped the op over. It was elsewhere that we see Stoker buying himself the UMP. The deagle was returned by Mixwell, who was pretty low on money. So yeah, a little bit of an awkward position to be in right now. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the shoulders right now. Mixwell being the only one who actually has a rifle in play.
One thing we were talking about towards the start of this was how well Mixwell seems to be playing with this team. Most recently, and certainly in this series, or in the last map. We'll pretend the first map didn't happen. And yeah, he's certainly top fragging the server, 20 kills on the board. Having a swell old time. Taking a look at the buy, obviously, with Mixwell having that op, this is where he needs to continue to have that impact if they want to have a chance of taking this round. He's looking for fights anywhere he can find them, but at the moment, nothing's being given away. Crowd playing very slow. Time might become their enemy. At the end of the day, they have no progress towards a bomb site just yet. Luckily, there's very low utility for Movistar Riders, so they're not able to like Molotov off some of these angles. Cost them pushing forward. Even if that did happen, though, Spread have a couple of smokes left over to combat that. Or indeed a smoke for post plants. Oh, they push towards ramp, though. There's 3 players here. It's going to be very scary. All the kills go down to Des and Alex. AWP still here to stop them pushing down further. But Mixwell knows he can't stick around. Goes towards outside. Searson drops down. He hasn't been heard. Searson's got that angle. He's got the information. Surely he's got the information. Okay, flicks around eventually and finds the kill. But there's 20 seconds left.
Yeah, a little bit awkward there for Mixwell, unfortunately, not realizing there was a player still around there, but as we do see Spitty come in and take down Soaker now, they should be able to get this bomb down on A. Sirison has to read that Mopo's coming up the vent as well, and will go ahead and just finish it off. So a much closer round for Sprout than they would have hoped for. They end up taking quite a bit of damage, so I feel like Movistar can be somewhat happy with how that force fly went. But overall, I feel like it could have been a little bit better. Unfortunately, Mixwell missing a couple of opportunities over towards the ramp. It came down to the pistols, really only been able to get a 1-for-1 trade each, or rather a 2-for-2. Easier way to say it. As now a full eco will have to come true, so an opportunity for Sprout to actually build themselves up a little bit of money, especially Keto, who's brought a Mac 10 into play at first, and has just spotted himself a couple of wild players pushing in through ramp. Kevlarless as well, chews them up with that Mac 10, and the lobby aggression doesn't go too much better. Mixwell gets 1 frag at least, but not really too impactful in the end. A relatively clean round there from Sprout, although Keto didn't manage to pick that rifle back up, so they did take an 8 KO play.
One thing I loved was how Searson was able to read that the player would come up through vents, and yet when he heard Mixwell stomping up behind him, it was like a last-second reaction. It was a nice shot, though. Give him that. He was just waiting. He was just doing a styling. So early direction towards A, but again, not aggressing on the back of it too heavily. Keto makes his way down into secret. He's creeping around with the Mac 10, hoping to catch some players off guard. Over on the Movistar Riders side, you've got the glass cannon on Mixwell, which is not ideal. He's still playing pretty well, despite the little bit of a botched rotate that he had coming up behind Searson, stomping. But the thing was, I mean, it would have been weird to suspect Searson being there. He was about a second late to hear Searson dropping down as well, which was actually probably even less than a second. It was unfortunate, and timing just butchered him. Flashes towards the back. I mean, they can't really do anything on the back of that because they're smoked off. But they're just going to try to bail on down the vents, claim a little bit of control down in secret. Look at them.
Oh, yeah, just all creeping down. It's like, shh, guys, they'll never know.
And they've been doing this a bit, like, making presence towards A isn't uncommon. Now is that those windows break, though. Movistar know what's going on, what's going down.
Yeah, but it's a little bit late. The bomb now is going to be planted, and a 5-on-5 retake towards B is quite difficult. Both sides also not really having very much utility to work with at all. For the actual retake, Movistar Riders, they have 2 flashes, no defuse kit. And then over on the Sprout side, there's a couple of flashes and or a few flashes and a Molotov, but that's not going to matter because Movistar Riders realizing that a 5-on-5 retake towards B with little utility and no defuse kit is quite unlikely. So in the 5-on-5, they're just going to go ahead and back away and save. And this is understandable because it's about to be 11 to 11. They want to give themselves a good buy in this next round. And carrying over all these weapons means Mixwell can get himself armor. The rest of the players, including Mixwell also, will be able to buy up utility. And it'll just be a much, much stronger investment than general.
Well,
rather than having to eco, of course.
Dean, I'll tell you something, right? It's a smart decision being made. But that's the first round I've ever seen, where only 10 damage is done.
I think I've seen somewhere. I don't think I've seen a full gun round, but I think I've seen a round where there was like a pistol stack coming in and stuff, and then you'd see the bomb site being taken cleanly, and then they just wouldn't leave the other bomb site. They just save the pistols and Kevlar. But in the actual gun round, it doesn't happen too often. Normally, they'll at least try and get a bit of damage. If they lose one player, then they'll be like, okay, just give up. We'll go save now.
Yeah, indeed. No, well, when it is a full buy is what I meant. It's the first round like that. Oh, they pushed in. They're caught by Fav, and Murbit was pushed back by a Molotov, which meant he could support his teammate. Forced to play together. Sprout have claimed a man advantage. Now, Movistar Riders not going to be feeling too good on the back of that. I mean, you get the idea. Alex is creeping towards the outside. Keto's not spotting him. Keto goes down. Turn back into a 3v3. Low HP on Favin. Murbit down a little bit low. That Molotov's going to be pesky. Murbit's on 36. And he takes that one bullet. But eventually, Favin goes down to the Molotov. Mixwell takes Spitty. And just like that, Movistar Riders finally get the train going on their CT side. But yeah, on that round there, you get the idea. You throw the Molotov towards Squeaky so you can push main without worrying about them like 5-man pushing out Squeaky and just swapping places with you. Claiming the A site control, and you're in T spawn going, oh, we got to go back in. You get the idea, but it doesn't work out well because it was Mixwell he was going to push through, then he had to
hang on, Mitch. Merba has a P90.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Well, look, early on they've been smoking, they've been going down vents, so it's going to be useful down in secret. Maybe.
He did also just get naded quite heavily right there. While dropping on the vent, I think it was Mixwell just underhand righted a nade right towards his feet. That's a nice little bit of damage being found, although, as you said, it could get a little bit dangerous now. It does seem like Sprout want to focus on trying to split in towards this B-bomb site, and that's where the P90 definitely can be successful. In these closer range indoor positions, Sirison going to be able to take down Debts over towards Ramp, who was in a position where he wouldn't really be able to fall back off, had to try and take the fight. Down in towards the actual lower bomb site then as well. Keto now being spotted by Mixwell, who's not in the greatest of positions, but he does have a bit of help now from Soaker, who's rotated in. So quickly return to a 4-on-4 as the bomb goes down. Murbit, he's holding the flank though, so Mopo's dropped in towards Ramp.
4v3, Sprout looking good. At this point, Movistar Riders with the money that's in play, with the time, the lack of utility on most players, they're making the right call to just bail out and go for the save. Not to mention the man disadvantage, obviously. Saving over towards Garage. They'll stack up, they'll huddle. Make sure that they're going to be at least able to trade if these guys start to push on forward. Sprout not really in positions to stop them. Murbit was maybe, but he was so low that he couldn't really afford to go hunting down. 12 to 12, we're all tied up in a position that honestly, after that first terrorist half, I didn't think we'd see. Movistar Riders were looking on point, but Sprout have started to wake up a little bit. Actually, really well-rounded performance from Sprout. They're all like ±2 from the average kills, which is really good. A little bit more one-sided, I suppose, on the Movistar Riders side. That's is definitely having a much rougher game than what we've seen from him on Train.
Yeah, he was the one who led the way, if I remember correctly, on Train as well. So it's a little bit awkward. You want to see him stepping it up when they're over on the CT side. It's been Mixwell who's led the charge pretty convincingly. Soaker also having some nice rounds, as has Alex. I mean, I feel like they've all definitely had some decent impact. It's just deaths. We were hoping to see that performance from Train carrying on. 12 to 12 right now, though. So still a game that could go either way. Coming down to the wire in map number 3 here, as both of these teams, of course, want to take that grand final spot, where they will, of course, face off against Vitality. The loser going down into the third place decider to take on Team Spirit. very slow round from Sprout. Eventually now going to begin to actually push forward onto this A bomb site, but even with that, there's smokes down. So yeah, it's going to drop down in towards Vent. Mixwell on the up, going to be the one that's here to try and defend it, but it's going to be awkward. Just drops the Molotov. And with the amount of time that's actually on the clock right now, that could be quite awkward. They get the kill towards single door though, taking down Mopos, and now they want to bring it back up towards A. Make your mind up, guys. This is getting awkward. There's 20 seconds left. Death's playing around the smoke. The bomb goes down. It will be traded back. But this is just so much more awkward than it should have been. Mixwell just tries to run to the site with his knife out. I don't know, Mitch.
That was a questionable attempt at best. There's two other players alive outside of the planter. I don't know in what universe there's not going to be a guy covering him, like two in secret watching vents. We got your back, bro. Don't worry. I did he think it was like a 3v1? That was weird.
I would imagine not.
Well, I would hope not. I'd love to get his opinion on what the play what the play was there. It just looked so funny. It's like just running forward, knife out. I got him, guys. I got this.
Shot in the face.
It's no chance. Like that's one of those. It's not even. You ever see those CS:GO launch days of 1%? That's like a 0.1%.
And that just wasn't happening in any world.
Maybe they completely whiff all their shots.
Even if there wasn't a player who could see the run up across that area, there at the very least would have been a player in the single door who would have just been able to shoot him in the back while he was trying to get the knife. So I just don't really see that that working out for him in any way, really. And of course, in a round that was extremely crucial. You see, coming into this round now, they're left on a relatively weak buy. They buy what they can. Sirison just gets a wall bang onto Alex. And Sprout right now, they've had an incredible T-side showing here on Nuke so far. This is heartbreaking for Movistar after they started it off so well here on map number 3, after they grinded their way through Train, a map that we didn't really give them any hope on. That it looks like it may all fall apart as they had gotten themselves ever so close to that finish line.
That was a crazy shot by Sirison. He had no idea.
Oh yeah, no, he was just jumping and shooting repeatedly through the smoke, and
like that was a landing wall bang through smoke kill.
I think he may have been slightly blinded. Was he not by a flash that had been tossed in the air as well?
Was he? Oh, that's even worse.
I'm not sure. I might be wrong. Either way, there was a lot going on. That's all you can say. The last round and the beginning of this one being interesting for sure. 5-on-4 in play. There's very little ability left from Movistar riders. But the time is again becoming perhaps somewhat of an issue. There's 30 seconds remaining, so we will have to see Sprout pushing forward very soon. A frag coming in over towards the A-bomb site there from Favin. The damage even been put in towards Soaker as well, as Mixwell has to be careful on outside. Sirison up close with just a P250 in hand, takes the headshot. And now it's Dets and Soaker left to try and save this round, and potentially the matchup right now, because it is going to be Movistar looking at an eco in this next round, which should allow for Sprout to take 15, of course, putting themselves on map and series point.
The scary spot for Movistar. Soaker's super low. Soaker's dead. Stolen Deaths to try to get it done. Spots one on a far UMP in hand, picks up a kill. They don't actually know if he's up or down. That's the benefit here. They could think he's in hell, or they could think he's in heaven. But behind the vents, it's a weird spot to save him. Now they know, though. They've spotted him out. He's not getting out of there alive. Refacing was not the play. They've not got a lot of cash here. I mean, like, there's going to be players on UMPs. Would it be nice to carry a UMP forward? And realistically, like, I just... Plays like that annoy me, right? You're refacing. You risk losing armor and a UMP. You could even drop that to someone and buy an M4 right now. And what do you gain? Well, he didn't get a kill, but if he got one, let's say he got 2 kills. Great, spread of a shed ton of money. That they don't care. Like the damage that you do to your buy in this round is far greater than the damage you could even potentially do if you kill all the spread players, which isn't going to happen. Up on high ground, caught behind a vent with 2 AKs looking for long range. It's a weird one. That's when you see plays like that happen that you generally see a team go in a downward spiral. You come into this, hey, look, UMP. It's the best weapon they have. No M4s to make an appearance as they go in for a weaker investment.
Yeah, just a half slice. I mean, that's understandable. 3 rounds in a row on the CT side is definitely doable to take it into overtime. Make sure they get a solid buy here in this next round. It's just not a position that they would have actually expected themselves to be in, most likely after having such a solid T-side shown. And also then coming through in this second half. Sure, they lost the pistol, but they ended up winning the force buy in the next round. In the gun rounds in general here on this second half, Sprout have showed some pretty clear dominance, to say the least. Taking their time now in this one, though. As we know, up against that weaker investment, they don't want to give any opportunities for Movistar Riders to snatch away any weapons. Shot there by Merbit. Unfortunately, did get traded back, and actually Soaker as well. Alex from behind should have a quick double kill very easily here with the CZ. Although he is traded by Sirison, Movistar Riders are actually making this force buy work right now. They have the bomb. Sirison just going to push forward in the smoke. And there wasn't really much that he could do right there with a player up beside him, and also, of course, the AK spotting him from back in lobby. 13 to 14 around there for Movistar Riders that they just snatch away off the back of, as you said, a buy that had at best a UMP and MP9 and just pistols. Of course, Sprout still have enough to reinvest, but if they end up losing this one, then they would be struggling to get the buyout a little bit in this next round.
I mean, this series has been hella close, and last time they played, it was 16-13 to Sprout. Oh, Soaker's been spotted jumping down, his feet visible as he flew through the air. The smoke didn't quite cover as much as he was hoping. There's not too much of an angle there for Merbit. He might decide to just spam, though. Doesn't. Could have found a very nice little kill. Mixwell goes up a little bit too far on top of the stairs, taking down the 1-for-1. Eastside now with the man advantage, moving their way over towards the site. Great shot by Searson. And now with the bomb plant being easily obtained, unless someone runs on the site and knifes them, that's the only way to stop it, you know that. Mixwell's not here to save the day, though. So it's Alex and Mopaz to try and pull back a 2v4.
Yeah, and I don't think they really want to go for it, especially when you look at the fact that Mopo's already has 3,000 in the bank. He'll be able to drop a rifle over to Dets, who doesn't have enough to buy. Mixwell and Soaker can then buy for themselves, so it will allow for them to actually get a full investment through as long as they can save both of these weapons. Of course, very much needed at this point, as it will be two rounds in a row, rather, that they will have to take just to send it into overtime. Sprout now backing off. Not going to be looking to try and hunt those down, not too aggressively anyway. We do see Merbit coming into a little bit of contact there over towards the T-spawn. Picking down Lodo, he probably doesn't want to risk losing his own weapon. I mean, they would have been okay, actually, of course, with only a couple of rounds remaining. But either way, wasn't really worthwhile for him. Here we go. Pause coming through, most likely from Movistar Riders, as they try and discuss what's going to happen here. Full buy. As I said, they get out the utility, at least onto pretty much everyone. The main thing that they are lacking, of course, is the op, which has been quite impactful for Mixwell when he's had it available. So that is a little bit sucky, I guess is one way to put it. But he did have enough for it if he wanted it. So obviously they decided against that, meaning they may have a little bit of a plan in mind about what they actually want to do. Maybe a bit more aggressive here on the CT side, because they have been kind of getting picked off one by one while sitting back and playing those kind of standard site holds. Giving up the outside control, etc., and then just having to worry about Secret and down on B so much as well. That's also been a bit of an issue for them.
With this buy, like a Sprout don't have a lot of financial security for the next. They'll be running dry in terms of utility because they'll have to drop over some AKs. So, I mean, like it's an okay spot for Movistar if they find this one. This is the real challenge. Up against an AWP, it's Searson again. He's been playing so well. I mean, we talk about how well Mixwell's doing on that AWP. Searson has been phenomenal as well. Babin returning to his former glory. And whilst we saw Keto have a decent start, he has kind of slowed down a little bit. But again, it comes back to what we were saying about it being a very well-rounded scoreboard. Although Spitty isn't playing amazingly, he is doing well in the supportive aspect of the game. Coming through 14 enemies flashed this half, I think. Pretty phenomenal, as well as the fact that he's also had some clutch holes. One of the ones on the CT side where he found the 2K to pull things back over into their favor, which allowed Searson to then close out the round a little bit later on. So he's definitely doing his job, even though he's towards the bottom of the scoreboard. Movistar have got a little bit more of a one-sided performance. Mixwell and Soaker pulling up a lot of the weight. Alex was one of the really big players in the previous map. Lacking a little bit. Running dry on utility in terms of the Molotovs for the CT side. Sprout are now going to attempt to push towards A. Alex has smoked off an upper, drops a molly down, though even though he can't see through, he's able to help his teammates. Just trying to slow Sprout down, so that smoke's at least a little bit faded. Mixwell finds one to open it up. It's traded straight back, though. He's doing okay, but running through the smoke, Alex is going to be picked off. You're down into a 1 versus 2. With Dets on an AK-47, trying to pull it back. Catches Spinny out in the open bomb, dropped. No time, but Searson comes up behind on the P250 and ultimately closes.